Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name's Matthew, as you know, and we just got the first 3 episodes, the first fifth of the Bad Batch's final season. I, for one, have really enjoyed the Bad Batch. I've said before, I feel like I could have watched 5 or 6 seasons with these characters, but sadly the show has been cancelled. And I can't help but wonder if that's because of complaints that there was too much filler content. But I feel like with some of the filler stuff, there's an episode in season 2 that people called filler where Wrecker and Tech have some genuine disagreements and neither of them gives in and apologizes. Both of them are like, screw you, you're wrong. In that same episode, Omega tells Tech that she feels like he's her only brother that doesn't really care for her, and then he explains to her that he isn't really good at conveying his emotions, and of course he cares for her. And then when Tech dies, he dies, and Wrecker always had his back. As we see in the final 3 episodes of season 2, Wrecker and Tech are shooting people up, defending each other, of course. But Tech dies, and Wrecker knows. And this is what I love about this ending of season 2. Sometimes they have Wrecker as the comedic relief, but I really love his serious moments because in the end of season 2, Hunter's telling Omega about Tech's sacrifice for them. And Wrecker doesn't have any motivational speech, nothing motivational to say to Omega to make her feel better. He just looks super depressed and walks out of the room. And that's because, from the filler episode, Wrecker and Tech none of them apologized for that huge disagreement they had. So his brother died without him ever reconciling with him. And I feel like with Tech's relationship with Wrecker and Omega in season 2, without that filler episode, Tech's death would have meant that much less, so... Like I said, I feel like I could have watched way more seasons of this show. I'm so sad it's ending. I post Star Wars videos, Elden Ring, all kinds of stuff on this channel, so if any of that sounds interesting to you, if you want to see a first-time noob get railed on Elden Ring, I'm trying to finish it before the DLC comes out this June. So if that interests you, consider hitting the subscription button and hitting the bell to stay notified. But on that note, let's talk about these first 3 episodes. So we begin episode 1 with Hemlock denying a rescue crew to his own human recruits, which is interesting because the Bad Batches kind of forced this narrative along of the clones being expendable, and this kind of just shows that the Empire truly just doesn't care about anyone. Then we get Emery extracting Omega's blood, and I was curious why. Then we do get a hint of an answer. Nala Se says, the Empire seeks reproduction of a genetic M count for specimens that are not the clones. So, we've got a mystery on our hands, huh? One thing I've really loved about the Bad Batch is seeing the birth of the Empire and seeing all the Imperial type stuff from the original trilogy phased in. And so we get the painted matte black mouse droids as well as Imperial engineers phased in this first episode, and I really liked that, even though it's just a minor detail. We get Crosshair's hands shaking, and I thought this was a really, really cool detail because Omega's just being kept there and doesn't want to be a prisoner, but Crosshair, even annoyed at her as he is keeping her safe in a way, like an older brother. The one with once so steady hands isn't steady any longer, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's being tortured and bled dry. I enjoyed this part of the episode where Omega's trying to get Crosshair to mentally lock in. He just tilts the fuck out of me sometimes, man. I gotta be honest with y'all. Like him telling Omega he'd leave her, I appreciate him being dead ass, but also bruh. I can totally see Omega reversing Hemlock's phrase, actions always have consequences, sometimes not in ways we'd ever imagined. And then he dies. He's gonna die so hard at the end of this season, y'all. 1000%. Like I said, so now we're on season 3, episode 2, and this is why I still enjoyed what the filler episodes, quote unquote filler, brought to the show. Because they wouldn't have found where Crosshair and Omega are and gotten their leads. The trail would have been dry and dead for the Clone Rebellion to build for a raid to Mount Tantus or whatever is going to happen at the end of the season without a filler episode from season 2, because their connection to this guy got them the lead they need from the criminal underworld to Hemlock's old facility. Then we got a reference to the Jotaz from Wrecker, which is a creature brought into canon in Respawn Entertainment's Jedi Fallen Order. I really like the small detail. Again, oh god, I love the Jedi game so much. And I really, really hope Jedi Survivor winning that Grammy can show whoever's in charge of Star Wars gaming that they need to lock it the hell in and give us more story-driven Star Wars games and Battlefront 3. I mean, that's going down a rabbit hole, but we all know. I've been adamant that if they freaking, oh my god, I know pay to win's bad, but I will die on this hill. If they added a $10 skin into Battlefront 2 with the current player base that is left, like Boba Fett with his repainted armor from The Mandalorian, or Darth Vader's battle damage suit, if they added a $10 skin that you can't earn through game, you can only buy, I am 1000% certain I'm 1000% certain that skin, that $10 skin, would earn EA more money than all of Battlefield 2042's lifetime. It's insane to me how little that company understands the Star Wars gaming community and our will and our desire for good Star Wars gaming. Alright, rant aside. Now we're on episode 3. So maybe Nala Se knows if they discover how potent Omega's blood is that they'll run her dry like they have other clones. And then we get the name drop of Project Necromancer, which is also mentioned in the Shadow Council's meeting in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. So this is really interesting because early reviews for this first 8 episodes of this season said that this season of Star Wars, above all other Star Wars projects, does an amazing job of connecting the events of the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and the sequel trilogy. All 3 trilogies together. So we're getting the name drop of Project Necromancer after the Empire's fall, between episodes 6 and 7. And we're also getting it right after episode 3. It's wild how much work has to be done to make the sequels make sense since they couldn't do it themselves. And this could be more of that. So Hemlock opens one of these containers and shows Palpatine what I believe to be a human or some alien that they're working on. So what did Hemlock show Palpatine? I thought it could be clones of Palpatine himself. It could be Palpatine trying to clone and make a clone Sith army. But Palpatine's a big lover of the rule of 2, and he always hated Vader because of Anakin, or because of Vader being crippled on Mustafar. He would never be able to unlock his fullest potential and be that extremely powerful apprentice and someday kill Sidious himself and continue the rule of 2. So I kinda can't see Sidious wanting to add a bunch of Force-sensitive Sith. What I think Disney could be doing with this is recanonizing part of the old comics. I think Palpatine could be trying to clone a body for himself, like to put his mind and soul in and have a younger body again, where he can, like he said in episode 3, escape death, be immortal. And I think that really goes in line with the plot that Disney lined up, like, you know, maybe 6 months before releasing episode 9. I feel like this lines up with their episode 9 plot they had going on. I do have to say, as much as I hate Hemlock, the gall for him to suggest a promotion to the Emperor was impressive, I'm not gonna lie. The Emperor wants Tantus to stay hidden and secure, even from other Imperials. I loved Crosshair and Omega's escape. When they got to the shuttle part, when Crosshair had to 2v1 the Commandos, I won't lie, I was actually holding my breath. And they did Omega so well here. They didn't have any cringe, stereotypical kid shit like new shows do. She was locked in, shooting people, and she whistled for Battlefront to get in when they were escaping. I was like, yo, the dog actually makes it out. I figured in episode 1 they were showing the dog scenes with her. Like, I could tell it's going to be important later, but I didn't think that the dog would escape and, you know, help the batch later on in the season. That's pretty cool. So the Empire knows now that Omega is their solution for getting the correct M count for Project Necromancer, which is why Hemlock couldn't shoot the ship down and they escaped. Now this is really curious because I'm not sure if they would kill a little girl in the show, but people have said that, you know, the Bad Batch is a step up on the darkness in the Clone Wars, and it's only going to get darker, I think, you guys. I'm really, really scared for the clones that we have left. I know Cody hasn't been in Season 3, but I am so scared for Cody. So I believe during the Bad Batch Season 3 trailer reaction, I predicted they would need to build up the Clone Rebellion to do a massive raid on Mount Tantus to get their team back. But this first arc of the show is exciting and interesting because now I don't know what the rest of the season will build up to, since the batch is already going to be together, reunited by episode 4. This is really curious, y'all. I mean, I did spot in the Season 3 trailer, there was a scene in the clone turbo tank For a split shot, you could see that Crosshair was in his old armor with Hunter and Wrecker. I'm really curious now, y'all, because a lot of people complained about filler, but now that the batch is all together, I'm wondering, like, what are they gonna do? What's the point now? So I predicted, you know, that there would be a huge clone rebellion. They would re-canonize that in their own way and have a super morbid ending. Maybe slightly hopeful as well, like some members of the batch make it out. I just am really curious what's going to go down now. You know, Hunter said to Wrecker and to the clone cadets he met in episode 2 that their mission wasn't over yet, and their mission is to get Omega back. But I'm wondering if once they're all reunited, if they're going to be, you know, talking to Rex and Echo, and they're going to be convinced that they have to help all of their brothers escape from Mount Tantus. And now a prediction that births from these 3 episodes, you guys. I feel like the batch is going to go down swinging, go down shooting, but Project Necromancer is still being worked on between episodes 6 and 7. So I'm thinking that the batch, I think this will be a pretty sad ending for the batch, but I'm wondering if they will succeed in helping the clones escape Mount Tantus. But I also feel like the Clone Rebellion will be crippled, but maybe in the process Mount Tantus and Project Necromancer will be crippled for decades. Maybe that's what's going on. And this also makes sense if Omega does escape. If the batch dies but help their girl, their sister, escape. Maybe this is why Grogu is so imperative during the MandoVerse. All in all, you guys, I think this is a great start to the season. I'm not going to do episode-to-episode reviews like I do for the MandoVerse episodes, but I might do check-in episodes like this every now and then on the channel where I just share my thoughts with you guys. I loved this. I really did. With that, y'all, feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments section. Hit the bell if you want to stay notified for more Elden Ring vids, Star Wars vids. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.